Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Welcome to Group 9 Discussion Room. This time we would like to figure out about Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries or OPEC.
Okay, before we start presentation, let me introduce to the members. Aditya Saputra, Afifah Wulan Maida, Annisa Fatin Cahyati, and Delia Salsabila.
Okay, I'm Afifah. The material that will be discussed is the history of the formation of OPEC. The first country to become a pioneer in the formation of OPEC was Venezuela. Venezuela provides opinions on the exploration process and communicate instantly with oil-producing countries in the world. In September 1960, the Minister of Mines and Energy of Venezuela, Juan Pablo Párez Alfonso, met with the Minister of Mines and Energy of Saudi Arabia, Abdullah Al-Tariki, to discuss ways to increase the price of crude oil from each country. The meeting was held in Baghdad, which was also attended by the government of Iraq, Persia, and Kuwait. Eisenhower also established National Security Agency and learned access to energy supplies that could be used in the event to work. The first OPEC headquarters in Vienna was then moved in Vienna, Austria. Since OPEC headquarters moved to Vienna, the Indonesian embassy in Austria has been actively involved in monitoring oil prices and dealing with strategic and diplomatic issues at various OPEC conferences. Venezuela, which was previously a founding member of OPEC, is now experiencing a severe economic crisis. The price of crude oil products fell by up to 50% due to the market demands. Finally, OPEC issued a policy to control the deadline and control price in the global market. The policy was taken on the basis in the influence of the outside world and market demands. This policy was used to restore oil prices starting at the end of 2008. Oil price recorded at the end of 2008 fell to $100 per barrel. And next, the background of the founding of the OPEC. The establishment of OPEC was triggered by the unilateral discuss of the multinational oil company, namely the Seven Sisters in 1959 and 1960. These oil companies have controlled the oil industry and set prices on the international market. OPEC is trying to maintain oil prices to reject the unilateral decline in oil prices by some of the world's leading oil companies, mostly from developed countries. Some of these oil companies are Exxon, the Seven Mayer, Exxon, Shell, Gulf, British Petroleum, and Shell. Together, OPEC is trying to determine policies on the prices and amount of oil production that will be marketed to the world. Next, OPEC mission and goals. The mission of OPEC is an unity petroleum policy of to in member countries and user the stabilization of oil market in order to user and office economic and regular supply of petroleum to customers, a steady income to producers, and a return on capital for the investing in the petroleum industry. OPEC's goal in economy, namely maintaining world oil prices and determining the price that is benefit producing countries. OPEC's political goal, that is arrange connection with foreign oil companies or government of customer countries. Purpose of establishing OPEC to coordinate and unify policy regarding oil among its member countries, to determine the right strategy to project in the interests of the member countries, and to carry out various works to stabilize oil prices on the international market so that there are no fluctuations up and down prices, so that there is no price monopoly.
Okay, until now, OPEC members have experienced very high development with members from several countries producing and exporting crude oil from various parts of the world. The important requirements for membership in OPEC include: first, the country concerned is substantially an exporter of crude oil. 2. Fundamentally have the same needs as member countries. 3. It is also approved by the majority of OPEC members. Next, OPEC membership. As of January 2020, OPEC has 13 member countries, 5 in the Middle East or Western Asia, 7 in Africa, and 1 in South America. Approval of a new member country requires agreement by their quarters of OPEC existing members, including all 5 of the founders. In October 2015, Sudan formally submitted an application to join, but it is not yet a member. The following are the current OPEC member countries: Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, Venezuela, Kuwait, Libya, United Arab Emirates, Algeria, Nigeria, Gabon, Angola, Equatorial Guinea, and Republic of the Congo. Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, Venezuela, and Kuwait are the founding countries of OPEC. Gabon joined OPEC in 1973 as an associate member of OPEC, but left the organization with full membership from 1995 and rejoined in July 2016. Inactive members: 1. Qatar. Qatar left OPEC on 1 January 2019 after joining the organization in 1961 to focus on natural gas production, of which it is the world's largest exporter in the form of liquefied natural gas or LNG. Number 2. Indonesia. In May 2008, Indonesia announced that it will leave OPEC when its membership expired at the end of that year, having become a net importer of oil and being unable to meet its production quota. It rejoined the organization in January 2016, but announced another temporary suspension of its membership at year-end when OPEC requested a 5% production cut. Number 3. Ecuador. Ecuador withdrew from OPEC in December 1992 because it was unwilling to pay the annual $2 million membership fee and felt that it needed to produce more oil than it was allowed under its OPEC quota at the time. Ecuador then rejoined in October 2007, before leaving again in January 2020. Ecuador Ministry of Energy and Non-Renewable Natural Resources released an official statement on 2 January 2020, which confirmed that Ecuador had left OPEC.
Okay, now I'm Delia Salsabila as the next speaker. I would like to figure out about OPEC's influence. According to the OPEC website, the group's mission is to coordinate and unify the petroleum policies of its member countries and ensure the stabilization of oil markets in order to secure an efficient, economic, and regular supply of petroleum to customers, a steady income to producers, and a fair return on capital for those investing in the petroleum industry. And doing this can help to keep the interest of member nations while ensuring they receive a regular stream of income from an uninterrupted supply of crude oil to other countries. Okay, let's jump into the next slide. As you can see in the screen, there are graphics. The blue one is represent OPEC spare capacity and the orange one represent WTI crude oil price. Actually, I'll show you these graphics in order to show about indicator of the world oil market's ability to respond to potential crises that reduce oil supplies. And as a result, oil prices tend to incorporate a rising risk premium when OPEC spare capacity reaches low levels. And you should know markets are influenced by geopolitical events within and between OPEC countries because they have historically and the result in reduction in oil production. Given OPEC's market significance, even that intel, an actual or potential loss of oil supplies can produce strong reaction in oil prices. Despite OPEC's effort to manage production and maintain targeted price levels, member countries don't always comply with the production targets adopted by the organization. Oil prices can be affected by member countries' unwillingness to maintain production targets. In addition, unexpected outage can reduce OPEC production. The amount of the disruption, how quickly it occurs, and the uncertainty of restoring the output have considerable influence on oil prices. The behavior of oil prices depends not only on current supply and demand, but also on projected future supply and demand. OPEC adjusts member countries' production targets based on current expectation of future supply and demand. Estimating future supply and demand, however, is especially challenging when market conditions are uncertain and are changing rapidly. There can also be significant lags in OPEC production target adjustments in response to market conditions, which also can impact prices. Actually, in December of 2016, OPEC formed an alliance with other oil exporting nations that were not a part of the organization, creating an entity that is commonly referred to as OPEC+. Prominent members of OPEC Plus include Russia, Mexico, and Kazakhstan. Working in coordination with additional oil exporting countries makes the organization even more influential when it comes to international energy prices and the global economy. Actually, in December of 2016, OPEC formed an alliance with other oil exporting nations that were not a part of the organization, creating an entity that is commonly referred to as OPEC+. Prominent members of OPEC Plus include Russia, Mexico, and Kazakhstan. Working in coordination with additional oil exporting countries makes the organization even more influential when it comes to international energy prices and the global economy. In March, crude prices hit their highest since 2008 at more than $139 a barrel after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. With the new policy related to cutting world oil growth forecast, Now, non-OPEC oil supply in 2020 will be reduced by 300,000 barrels per day to 2.4 million barrels per day. OPEC and its allies, which include Russia, known as OPEC Plus, are unwinding record output cuts put in place during the worst of the pandemic in 2020 and have rebuffed Western pressure to raise output at a faster pace.
Alright, in this slide, I will explain about the status of Indonesian membership in OPEC. You can see in this PowerPoint that there are two reasons why Indonesia left this OPEC organization. But before that, I will explain a little bit about the background. In 1962, Indonesia first joined as a member of OPEC, or the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. Carrying out the role as a member country, Indonesia is quite active in every activity carried out by OPEC. One of its active roles in Indonesian participation is determining and implementing the direction and policies of OPEC, which aim to stabilize the amount of production and oil prices in the international trade. This condition also proved the existence of one. Although OPEC has various goals that are beneficial for each member country, this doesn't make Indonesia as one of the former OPEC members continue to remain as an active member. This condition is evidenced by the fact that Indonesia has officially left the OPEC membership twice. Indonesia first left OPEC in 2008 but only became effective in 2009. After approximately 8 years, Indonesia froze its membership in OPEC. In early 2016, Indonesian government decided to return to being active as an OPEC member country. However, at the end of the 2016, Indonesia again decided to suspend its membership in OPEC. Indonesia's decision was taken at delivered at the 171st OPEC session, which took place in Vienna, Austria, where the temporary suspension of Indonesian membership in OPEC was considered the best decision for the all OPEC member countries. So, what are the real reasons for Indonesia to leave OPEC? Here are some of the main reasons Indonesia decided to freeze its membership in OPEC. You can see in this PowerPoint 2 two reasons I mean. One, the impact of rising world oil prices. The first reason for Indonesian exit from the OPEC membership was due to the impact of the increase the world oil prices that occurred in early 2008. However, the crisis and rising oil prices could be one of the reasons for every country, including Indonesia. This condition is one of the obstacles for Indonesia membership in OPEC and has resulted in Indonesia's position in OPEC starting to be dubbed. Not only within the OPEC membership, but this condition also has an impact on the emergence of various debates by various domestic parties regarding Indonesian membership in status in OPEC. The increase in world oil price in early 2018 had a significant impact on the Indonesian economy. One of the impacts is a decrease in spending on goods and services caused by an increase in spending on oil, which also results in a sustainable economy in the market, which is actually very important for every country, including Indonesia. These conditions include a shift in the focus of the Indonesian economy or term of trade in Indonesia, which has an impact on the rigidity for real wage, price, and structure in the Indonesian economy. The existence of various problems that arose within Indonesia due to the crisis and the increase in world oil prices prompted Indonesia to leave OPEC membership in March 2008. However, the decision was not immediately confirmed by OPEC. The OPEC agency itself confirmed that decision to leave Indonesia from membership. OPEC in September 2008 and came into force in 2009. The decision from OPEC is supported by the assumption that Indonesia is no longer able to become an oil producing country, and instead Indonesia has become an oil importing country, or what is also known as a net importer. And two, the point two, effort to improve the structure of the state budget, or in Indonesian called APBN. As mentioned above, Indonesia has frozen its membership from OPEC twice, namely in 2008 and 2016. After the decision to leave OPEC membership in 2008, Indonesia again decided to join OPEC membership in early 2016. One of the reasons for Indonesia deciding to become a member is the availability of information about the fluctuation in oil price and the condition of oil stock owned by each country if they become an OPEC member. In addition, because Indonesia intends to build good relations with OPEC member countries so as to facilitate diplomacy or negotiation both in the economic or political field. However, with good reason, Indonesia's decision to become a member again did not last long because at the end of 2016, Indonesia again gave the decision to temporarily raise its membership in OPEC. The decision was taken during the 171st OPEC session which took place in Vienna, Austria on November 30, 2016. One of the reasons given by the President of the Republic Indonesia was that the policy to implement was not accordance with the Indonesian national budget for 2017, or yeah, APBN. This discrepancy can be seen from the result of the court decision which resulted in a new policy to cut crude oil production, excluding condensate, by 1.2 million barrels per day, or BPD. The new policy also requires Indonesia to cut approximately 5% of Indonesian oil production, or around 37,000 barrels per day, or BPD. This condition is considered not in accordance with the condition of the Indonesian state where the need for the state revenue is still considered large. In addition, Indonesia Air APBN for 2070 also agreed that oil production in 2070 will decrease by 5,000 bpd compared to 2016. Therefore, the cut that can be accepted by Indonesia is only 5,000 bpd. So that's the new policy from OPEC for Indonesia is considered not in accordance with the condition and the Indonesian state's budget. This condition then prompted Indonesia to temporarily freeze its membership in OPEC in order to improve the structure of the Indonesian state's budget. In addition, Indonesia as a net oil importer considered that there will be an unfavorable impact for Indonesia by cutting production capacity. This is because theoretically oil price will actually rise. Although Indonesia has decided to temporarily freeze its membership again, this decision is considered the best decision for other member countries. Why is that? Because new decisions or policies for OPEC can be implemented by member countries. Alright, those are the two main reasons for Indonesia to freeze its membership in OPEC twice in 2008 and 2016. However, Indonesian active roles in OPEC has been recognized but realized by other. Okay, this is evidenced by the hope that Indonesia will return to become an active member of OPEC. This hope was conveyed by two member countries, namely Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, in response to member countries' expectation of Indonesia. Indonesia will be willing to return to being active in Indonesia is not include the implementation of policy of cutting oil production for OPEC members. The reason is because Indonesia's own oil production has been decreasing. Even in, even Indonesia has been included as a net oil import. So that's my explanation about why Indonesian or what position Indonesian in this OPEC. So we can and so we know that today Indonesian frees the membership from OPEC. Thank you for me.
That's all from us. Thank you for all your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.